The question we all want answers for is 2016 makeup looks back? We have all heard it, 2016 is making a comeback. So I decided to do quite an extensive research and I will bring you guys all the makeup trend predictions that I could possibly find on today's video. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In case you are new here, hi, my name is Bia and I am truly passionate about makeup. On today's video, we are going to deep dive on 2023 makeup trend predictions. Listen, I found a lot, to say the least. And I found some very different perspectives to makeup, so I feel like this year is going to be filled with a lot of different techniques, with a lot of different vibes, and we are going to pretty much deep dive on all of those trends, and this is the end result. So before we even get started, let me know in the comments if you feel like the 2016 makeup is back, judging from my makeup look, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video in case you haven't already. And without further ado, let's just jump right into the video. Before we start applying any makeup, I just wanted to say that for this video I had to make some choices because the trends that I found for this year are clearly going to shift throughout the months because some trends just could not go together. Today I'm just going to do my makeup according to the things that were said the most, and also honestly the things that I prefer because I cannot do them all. So yeah guys, without further ado, let's just jump right into the makeup. I'm going to start by doing the skin, and if there is one thing that I was constantly finding on every single article is that this year the lived-in makeup is going to be like a major thing, which means that it's going to be that very subtle, almost not even there makeup with less coverage, no harsh lines, no harsh contour, no harsh anything basically. And on this part, 2016 makeup is definitely not back. We are not getting that harsh contour and harsh highlighter back, which I'm kind of happy about. I personally prefer a more natural finish to things. Even if I have a ton of coverage, I prefer things to be a little bit more diffused. So this is definitely a win for me. But however, bold eye looks are going to be back, and like bold eye looks, bold skin, you know, like it's gonna be a weird mix if it happens at the same time. And honestly, for that type of lived-in makeup look, I feel like the underpainting technique is just chef's kiss. And actually, one of the things that I read about makeup trends said that that technique in particular is going to be a major thing throughout 2023, and it has actually already been trending. And by the way, for those of you who think that Mary Phillips came up with that technique, no, she didn't. This is a very old technique in the makeup industry. It was created by Kevin Aucoin, which is an icon in the makeup world. And if you don't know what is the underpainting technique, I will explain. It basically consists of doing things in the opposite order, which basically means that first you are going in with creamy bronzer and creamy contour, concealer, blush, and only then the foundation. And I love that technique, and it will make you use so much less foundation. Like your foundation bottle will thank you, and your bank account probably too. For creamy bronzer, I am taking the one and only, this is the NARS Laguna Bronzing Cream. You guys know how much I love this. Like if you follow me on TikTok and on Instagram, and if you don't, I will leave the links down below for you so that you can go check it out afterwards. But yeah, like you will know that this product is a must for me. I'm going to start by placing it with this Japanese brush. This is the foundation straight, and I know that it's dirty, but it's kind of like the mid of the week, and I always wash my brushes on Sunday. So at this point, they are starting to need a little bit of maintenance. And guys, I haven't filmed for YouTube in quite some time. I was off again, but it was for good reasons. I'm not gonna lie, like I have been quite busy for the right reasons, but I missed it so much. Like I love creating content for YouTube. It is definitely my favorite platform out of all. I just feel like Instagram and TikTok will never fill that gap in my heart, if I'm being completely honest. I just love to just sit down, do my makeup, and chit chat for a good 20 minutes. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, whenever you are doing the underpainting technique, you want to go a little bit heavier, just a tiny bit heavier with your bronzer and with your blush, because with the foundation on top, it might make it fade away a little bit more, but you don't have to go like crazy. And it feels so weird. Like the first time that I tried this technique, I felt muddy, I felt uncomfortable because like I am blending bronzer on bare skin. It just doesn't look good. But sometimes you really do gotta trust the process. And if I'm being completely honest, with this technique is trust the process until it's done. And another thing that you probably also want to bear in mind is that you want to blend things but not blend them too much. It will just help the products show through the rest of the makeup. And by the way, this is the contour blender from Japanese as well. You cannot tell me that this looks good. But you know, it is part of the journey. Also, I changed my backdrop because I was hating the plain white wall for my TikTok and Instagram, and I feel like it is a vibe for YouTube. Did I blend my forehead too much? Probably. You might need to retouch things a little bit after the foundation, and that's completely fine, but you are no longer going to have to reapply things completely. Like, I feel like I always need to retouch, even if I don't do this technique. Like, in the end, I just like to make sure that everything is very balanced out. I'm just going to apply a lip plumper. I had a lip mask on, but it is absorbed now. And recently, I was gifted this lip plumper from Zoeva. This is the Pout Plumper Volumizing Lip Gloss, and guys, this one is spicy as hell, I am not gonna lie, but it is so good. My lips look so full after applying it. I've never tried a lip injection from Too Faced, but I heard that that one is really spicy. If it is more spicy than this one, I will not be able to handle it. For concealer, I actually got this one in the mail today. I finally gave up and decided to give it a try. This is the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum. It is supposed to be a little bit lighter when it comes to the coverage, and mine is in the shade Vanilla. I'm going to try it out for the very first time with you guys. I'm going to start applying with the concealer buffer, the 142 from Zoeva. Then I'm going in with a sponge to blend it out, because you guys know that I cannot go without the sponge. From what I can tell, this has a very light coverage. Not super sheer, but like definitely more on the medium coverage. Just going to place it like this, concealer around my nose. Usually whenever I do this technique, I don't go in with any more foundation on my nose. I just feel like it is a little bit unnecessary. I thought that this shade was going to be way lighter on me than what it actually is. And the sponge that I'm taking is the Real Techniques one. I love this sponge, and this is actually a new one. This is by far the best sponge that I've ever tried. It is so soft, it blends things to perfection, it's not too harsh on the skin. It is actually pretty soft and bouncy. And yeah, guys, honestly, there is nothing about it that I don't like. I really like the finish of the concealer. It looks really beautiful and natural. And by the way, guys, I'm collecting all the items that I need to do like a full face of drugstore makeup. And these are some of the items that I'm currently testing. Not me having cat hair on my face. If you think about it, this technique makes so much sense, because what is the point of putting creamy bronzer and concealer on top of foundation? Like, the concealer part, I might get it because coverage, but like the bronzer, it just doesn't make sense because it is such a dense and pigmented product, unless obviously you use something more sheer. Let me just quickly try to fix the mess that I did on my nose. Blush is also going to be huge this year, which honestly doesn't surprise me at all, because in case you haven't noticed, there have been so many new launches of powder blushes, and even a liquid ones. Like, they have been such a big thing in the makeup industry. Honestly, for me personally, I wish that they continue to be, because I love blush. I am going in with the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Liquid Blush in the shade Happy. This is a pink blush, and honestly one of my favorite shades. And once again, I'm using the sponge to blend it out. I just pretty much use the sponge for everything at this point. I pretty much no longer need any foundation on this section of my face. Like, these products just add the coverage that I need. Just diffusing the edges with the concealer buffer brush. Now for foundation, there are two key takeaways in here. The first one, you might want to choose something with a little bit less coverage to make sure that it doesn't cover everything underneath. And the second takeaway is that you want to focus the foundation in the areas in which you don't have anything else on. And also, you want to kind of use it to diffuse the edges, like a little bit on top of the creamy bronzer. And today, I'm actually going to try this one for the first time. I've checked if the color matches me, and it does. I think so. This is the L'Oreal True Match Nude Plumping Tinted Serum. It's not exactly a foundation, but it actually has a little bit of coverage. I can tell that from the swatch, and mine is in the shade 2-3 Light. And guys, I don't want to sound like a brat, but this is my first time ever trying a drugstore foundation. So I am really invested, and I've heard quite a few things about it. First of all is that the applicator doesn't quite make sense. Honestly, truly get it. Why would we need this? Like, I don't get it. And because of this, the bottle gets super messy unless you are like super careful putting it back. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to put a little bit in the back of my hand. Oh, and by the way, I heard that even though the packaging kind of sucks, which is a shame because this is actually glass, which feels so bougie, so expensive, and so good. The formula is incredible, which at the end of the day is kind of the only thing that truly matters. I'm going to use this Japanese brush. This is the foundation blender. This is the brush that I tend to use whenever I do this technique because it is a little less dense than usual. And I'm just going to pick a little bit, and I'm going to make sure that I barely have anything on the brush. This is something that you definitely want to do. You don't want to go in with too much product and like end up covering up everything that's laying underneath. I'm going to start around my mouth and in this area in here, and then on this middle part, and we will go from there. I had to put a little bit more on the brush because goddamn, I took the barely anything way too seriously. And this will just soften up the edges of the contour even on the jawline as well. I put most of the product here, and then when the brush has pretty much nothing on it, I go over the edges of the bronzer. As you can pretty much tell, the bronzer is still there, but you definitely cannot see any harsh lines. I can see the foundation not having pretty much any coverage, at least the way that I'm applying it. But on the swatch, I don't know. Tomorrow I'm going to test it in the regular way in which I do my complexion so that I can have like a more accurate judgment, if you will. So far, I am really liking the foundation, or should I say tinted moisturizer? But yeah, I'm really liking it. It has a very thin texture, and now when the brush has pretty much nothing on it, I am going over everything just to make sure that everything is very blended out, very seamless. The thing about this technique is that even though it gives you a more like bare skin finish, it actually still takes a lot of technique and product, but the fact that you go over everything with the foundation definitely gives you a way more natural finish. Because things are just kind of like peeking through from underneath. They are not having like a major moment. And this is not just because it is my way of doing things, but on this technique, please do tapping motions, because if you slide the brush, you are going to pretty much ruin everything that you've done so far. Okay, now I'm just taking the sponge and I'm going over everything just to make sure that I have no bristle marks from the brush. This brush is pretty good, but still I always feel the need to do this. Another trend prediction that I've seen quite a lot is blinding highlighter. I even saw a blog describing it as the no makeup look, but with a lot more glow. And that one is a pretty glowy look to start with. So I am going to do as I actually always do, and I'm going to layer liquid highlighter and powder one. The thing that I saw though is that those really blinding highlighters are back, but it's not like the 2016 way. Like, even though they are back, we are not going to be drawing any sharp lines, you know? It's going to be that finish, but in a more diffused application. The liquid highlighter that I'm going in with is from Weibo. It is the Chromo Drops Liquid Illuminator. Guys, this costs less than 5 euros. I think it is around 460. And when I tell you that this performs like high-end, it is such an incredible product, and for some reason it smells like expensive perfume. I have been saying that on all of my TikTok videos and on my stories on Instagram, because honestly it does. It just smells so good and it makes your skin look wet, and I just feel like layering this with a very blinding highlighter will just kind of build the perfect foundation for it. And I already love a good diffused highlighter application in pretty much everything application, so this is easy peasy for me. It took me forever to realize that the really nice smell that I was constantly feeling while I was doing my makeup was not perfume, it was this. And even my boyfriend, whenever he would be close to me, would say that I would smell really good. And I was always like, oh, it's the perfume. No, it wasn't. This is a multi-purpose product. It is a perfume and highlighter in one. And actually, this is not exactly like a makeup trend. It's more like a makeup product trend. If there is one thing that is going to be very popular this year, it's multi-use products. Pretty much every single product can have more than one use. The bronzer can be used as eyeshadow as well. The blush can be used as lipstick, as eyeshadow. The highlighter can be used as a shimmer. But from what I've seen, this year products are actually going to be built like thinking of that and be marketed as that. Okay, I need to set my face because if I get one more cat hair stuck on it, I am going to lose my mind. I recently added the Milani Make It Last setting spray to my makeup collection, and when I tell you that I have been obsessed with this, I am not kidding. I have been saving it though, I'm not gonna lie, because I am already halfway through it. I should have bought the jumbo size, but actually I couldn't because it was sold out. I remember checking. It makes the makeup last like crazy. It has the finest mist that I've ever tried, and it smells incredible. About setting powder, I didn't find anything, so I'm just going to set my face as usual. And I am taking the Easy Bake from Huda Beauty, and just for reference, this is in the shade Pound Cake. I honestly love this one. It makes my makeup last like crazy. Like, it is so good. And I'm using the 106 powder brush from Zoeva. If there is one thing that I also love about this powder is the fact that it's so blurring. Right now, as long as the skin is mattified, obviously it's going to be blurring because the skin will no longer bounce back the light. But even when my skin is back to being humid after the setting spray, it still looks a lot more blurred. I'm just going in with the Hoola bronzer from Benefit. I am not going to apply much because once again, I don't want this to have any sharp lines or anything. I'm going to keep it really soft. I feel like the whole vibe of this year's makeup is kind of leaving the perfectionism, like everything is supposed to be a little bit more rough and grunge, if you will. Now, when it comes to the powder blush, if there is one trend that I found pretty much being talked about everywhere, is mid-tone blushing. This has gone viral on TikTok, and it basically consists of using 2 shades of blush, a darker one in here, and then as you get closer to the center of your face, you go in with a lighter one. So I am taking these two. I have tried this formula recently. These are the Velvet Love blushes from Zoeva. They sent me all of their 6 shades, and this one is the shade Love, and this one is in the shade Peace. But yeah, I'm just going in with the darker one first, and then I will take the lighter one. Just going to do some tapping motions, and this is the 127, also from Zoeva. I honestly love this brush. The shade Peace actually has a little bit of a shimmer to it, but it's very subtle and it just melts perfectly with the liquid highlighter. I honestly love these shades so much. I'm just removing the excess on the brush, and I am going in now with the shade Love. This one is definitely way lighter, and it also has a little bit of shimmer to it. On a few websites, they were actually saying that blush as like a major statement on the makeup, like really strong blush accents, is going to be major this year. I am honestly excited for that because that seems, you know, different. And can you believe in 2016, people were just running away from blush like as if it was a crime. Blush wasn't a thing back then, and now everybody wants blush. I honestly always felt like blush was necessary. I don't know, I just feel like the face looks a little bit too bare without it. At this point, I think you guys will agree with me when I say that I don't think that 2016 makeup is back. I think that some of the products are, but not the application and not the structure. I'm just kind of like going over everything with the powder because I kind of applied too much, and even though the blush tends to fade away, let's just not be crazy about it, you know? And as I've mentioned before, if there is one thing that is going to be popping this year is like this hyper glow, aka very blinding highlighters, and actually quite a few articles suggested this from Rare Beauty. I have mine in the shade Mesmerize, which is a pinkier shade. I love this shade because it kind of mixes well with the blush. And yeah, this year we are supposed to go really heavy with it, and I have seen quite a few looks in which they always do this C shape, and once again it is very diffuse, so even though the blinding highlighters are back, the application is not. And honestly, thank God, because I hate that one. I honestly always found it a little bit weird when it comes to like super sharp highlighter applications. I was never really a fan of seeing like a sharp line on my face. Okay guys, so now moving on to the eyes. Even though I found a few different trends when it comes to the eye makeup, the one that I've seen the most is grunge meets glam, which is basically like smoky eyes with neutral shades in a more glammed way, aka it's not just smoked out black eyeliner all over the waterline. It's a little bit fancier than that, but like right in the middle. I have something in mind. First, I am going to start by placing a little bit of my bronzer on my crease, you know, the multi-purpose thing going on. And this type of shades is actually going to be trending, not only like cool brown shades, but basically a lot of brown shades on all range of tones, and mauve shades as well, and the pastels too. I'm going to do a look on that because it seems really interesting to me. I wish I had like a lime green eyeshadow palette. I am also going to apply this on the lower lash line, and this just makes everything look super cohesive. I am now taking my Forever Bestie. This is the Makeup by Mario Master Matte eyeshadow palette, and as you can pretty much tell, I have shown it a lot of love. But first, I'm actually going to take a black eyeliner pencil. This is from Weibo. It is the Incredible Black Matte and Lasting Eyeliner Pencil, and this formula is way too affordable for its performance. But listen, I am not complaining. I don't think that I am going to do the eyeliner because when I think of grunge makeup looks, I don't think of eyeliner. So I'm just going to keep this on the lash line. I'm going to start by applying it like on the outer half. I don't want to bring it too inwards because it closes my eyes like crazy and I just look weird. The Detail Smoky Liner brush from Zoeva, the 238, and I'm just going to do some zigzag motions. Whenever I'm working with this type of formula, I go back and forth a lot so that I avoid like the pencil drying up too much. Even though this formula gives you like a ton of time, I'm just going in with whatever is left on the lower lash line too. I have seen quite a few weird grunge makeup looks on Fashion Week, which is kind of like where the trends are kind of announced, if you will. That is already way too thick for what I wanted, but it's fine. That's so fine. I'm just going over with a pencil brush to kind of buff it out. I am now going to run the black pencil on my waterline and on the lower one too. With this eyeshadow palette and the same pencil brush, let me just remove the excess. I always keep a towel on my desk and I could not do it. I am taking these... Am I taking this one? I am taking this brown eyeshadow. This is the matte 11 and I'm just going over the edges and I'm still going in with the black eyeshadow on top of the eye pencil. I just want to go in with this one first to kind of smoke it out. I will blend it in a second. Let me just go in with the black one on this edge. And now with a fluffier pencil brush. This is from Zoeva. It is a tiny bit bigger than the one that I was using before, which was from Arja Makeup. I'm just going to kind of go all over to diffuse everything. Like, do you see the vibe? Just a little bit of bronzer on the lower lash line, and I think I'm taking this middle brown shade. This is the matte 8 to connect this darker eyeshadow and the transition shade that I used, which was my bronzer. I honestly love how this looks. It looks so different. I've seen a few articles saying that the bolder eye looks are back, like the glitter and stuff. So maybe I will do a few videos on this topic. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see that. I'm just taking this Disney Ray brush and I'm just going over pretty much everything so that the makeup actually looks like lived on. So many articles were using that term, like lived on makeup, as if it was already like kind of wearing off. Okay, so I feel like this is definitely the vibe. It is very smoked out, it has a black eyeliner, and it's very grunge and very lived on, if you will. And by the way, when it comes to lashes, I found two things. One was a product. Basically, a few articles were talking about tubing mascaras, and I definitely see that one because so many tubing mascaras have been launched already, and when it comes to the summer, so many new mascaras are launched. So if I had to guess, when we get there are going to be even more tubing mascaras. And if you don't know what it is, let me tell you, because greatest invention when it comes to mascaras. It basically means that when you apply them, it kind of creates these tubes around the lashes, and once you want to remove them, you just need warm water, and if you do this, the mascara will come out in tubes and it will just not go everywhere. I don't know how to describe to you guys, but I actually had a video on it because I partnered with Zoeva on their tubing mascara launch, which was, I would say, like a few weeks ago. And yeah, it is so easy to remove and you will no longer get raccoon eyes. And that is why it is the greatest invention. The other thing that I also found about lashes is that extreme lashes are coming. And oh baby, do I have options. But I also found that winged lashes are back, which, let me tell you, makes me super happy. So I'm going to apply some lashes off camera and I will be right back. Wait a goddamn minute. First, I want to apply the mascara, so I'm going to curl my lashes using my Japanese curler. Just going to apply a light layer of mascara because I'm going in with false lashes. And I just feel like applying too much mascara kind of just makes it super hard to apply the false lashes. Okay guys, so now off to lips. I saw two trends, the more neutral like mid-tone browns with gloss and also the bold ones, but on every single type of grunge makeup that I saw the mid-tone with glosses, so that's the one that I'm going for today. But don't let yourself be fooled because the matte lipsticks are back, but I think that they are back in a velvety formula. Closer to the 2016 makeup, but not exactly. I feel like everything is kind of a mix of 2016 and a 2020 something makeup, like no makeup look mixed with full glam. It is a weird cocktail, but here we are. I'm going to start by lining my lips with the Velvet Love lip liner from Zoeva in the shade Barbara. This is kind of a mid-tone brown, which is kind of what we want. I am taking the Velvet Love Velvet Matte, but yeah, it is the Velvet Matte lipstick from Zoeva. Also from their new collection in the same shade. This is the shade Barbara, and I mean, look at the pigmentation. These formulas are actually kind of insane. I feel like this year the trend is going to be either super bold lips or lips that are barely even there. I am just taking this lifter gloss from Maybelline in the shade 009, which is the shade called Topaz. I'm just going over the whole lip. I honestly so happy that glosses are here to stay. They were one of the best trends ever in my opinion. So yeah guys, this is the final glam. Let me know which trend surprised you the most and the ones that you are truly happy to see like making a comeback or even showing up for the first time. I am definitely really into the whole vibe that it's coming this year. I feel like it is innovative, but like it is a learning from the old techniques. To be honest, it looks like we are finding a middle ground in between full glam and the no makeup look. Neither of them were exactly my cup of tea, so maybe this year I will be truly feeling the trends. But yeah guys, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and I will see you on the next one.